Mama don't cry, please, mama don't cry. Thank God, you gave me the chance. Look, see, mama, I'm tryna write this song for you. Before I say much thank you, there's no woman above you for feeding me your soul food. Now I'm vigilant and wise. Before I had no damn clue. Your prayers made me who I am today. You've been gone for 11 years and still feels like yesterday. I'm facing the world on my own now. In bad times I meditate, go underwater and ignore the pain. You pray for my dreams to become true, and your love is incredible. I still feel it, even though you're gone. That's one of the reasons I wrote this song.
Okay. Sanibona khona phe emakhaya to another exciting episode of the Talk with Obee, sahlezi nami of Obee Mkhabela. And namhlanje as usual vela ngihambe ngedwa ngithola. But before I introduce our guest today, our special, very special guest namhlanje, I'd love to urge you to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, hit the like button for more content about anything esizolahlela to the channel ingakumisi yabo. Today njengoba ngishila ngihambe ngedwa ngihamba with one of the special guests ngithola. I don't know if I should call her a young woman, but who's under the category of the youth, because I got 85. She's a businesswoman, she's an entrepreneur, she's the director of Miss Tembisa pageant. And she's the semi-finalist for Mrs. South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on studio, on stage, onto your camera, into your screens. Miss Ratile Mabitsela.
Thank you for the warm welcome. How are you?
I tried my best. Just to introduce you.
You're doing an amazing job. I love it.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's an honor.
It's an honor to be here.
It's our honor. Wow. You grew up in Tembisa.
Yes.
Oh,
Grew up, I was literally bred, buttered, and everything. A proper package. Proud package of Tembisa.
Take us back into your life with your Mukule Tembisa Benjana ngaleso sikhathi.
Ngaleso sikhathi, I don't think a lot has changed, except that maybe the area has developed in some places. There's now parks, there's stores and shopping centers around.
Yeah.
But otherwise, growing up in Tembisa, you know how teenage pregnancy has always been so rife, and how boyfriends and men generally, take abuse so lightly. Yeah, because you playing there amatini, and you see a girl standing with a boyfriend twisting her arm or hitting her, and it's probably not deemed as abuse because it's such a norm. So yeah, I obviously had to continue to see it as something that's not normal and work my way around it. But yeah, even though it happens and people watch it, it does not necessarily mean that because it's done so many times, it's right.
It's right. Yeah. Wow. And I'm glad you're sitting here not only as a semi-finalist for Miss South Africa, you're also sitting here as a director of a Miss Tembisa pageant, which is one of the biggest pageants is now on Tembisa. Well, what's the inspiration behind the pageant here?
The reason behind Miss Tembisa is just me giving my heart out to make a difference into the life of any young girl.
Yeah.
I think, like I was talking about abuse right now and how it's deemed as normal. There's still girls who think that there's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes it's good to teach women their worth so that they deem what is right for them as what's right for them and what's not as that. So I'm trying to build women of substance so that they know who they are, what they stand for, and to chase their dreams and know that where they come from will never determine where they go. So it's just to be a beacon of hope to the young girls of Tembisa. I mean, I went to school, I finished school, I worked, I started businesses, and I think some people are still in, oh my gosh, how did she do all that? So it's for me to just come back and say, if I can do it, you can also do it. And if I need to carry you through it, like such as use Miss Tembisa as a platform to mentor other girls into such a reach. And the good thing about it is that it's not just me who's there. It's other equally powerful, strong women who are also making waves in their lives. And I think it's about grand time that Tembisa is put on the map of greatness. You understand? So that amazing things, great things, extraordinary things. There's so much talent in Tembisa. So much talent, and it's raw in its purest form. And my job is to literally, I think I find a lot of fulfillment in just seeing this talent being celebrated, being groomed, and being flourishing so well.
You're a former Mrs. Tembisa yourself.
Yeah, I love the crown.
Uh, how was it for you to, put that crown on your head and say, "With you, okay"?
It was a beautiful experience. I'm not gonna lie to you. I remember it was actually the very first pageant that I entered. So after I entered Miss Tembisa, I remember I actually wanted to enter simply because I wanted to get the guts. So I'm not so shy and I'm easy with my interviews when I start to work because I was doing my third year of study at the time. And I was thinking, with how I'm so shy, being too shy, I don't know how I'm gonna face an interview, you
Yes,
know?
yes, yes.
And me going to school and not being able to get an interview actually means that chances are I went to school for nothing because I can't represent myself. So I went into a pageant in the pursuit of trying to get my communication skills right. And I wanted to do it to win it. And I went there with an attitude of winning and wanting to change my life. So I think every great thing, every change starts with the person. Someone else might have entered the same pageant and entered and left the same way that they were, or even worse than what they came with. But I saw an advantage of growth, not just an advantage of wearing a crown. And yeah, it actually opened so many doors for me because I remember after I entered, uh, soon after I was crowned, I was actually shooting for a movie on Soweto TV.
Is it?
And I had actually told myself that if I'm not going the route of media, then I'll go to work. But you know how parents are. My mom literally sat me down and said, "Girl, you're going to school, you're going to corporate," and the works. But I think what I used it for was a platform that I really found so empowering. And I love the idea of just doing it for other women because I know what it has done for me.
You have an honors degree in
Yes.
program management, so I would say which was but his anything.
If it was according to them, I'd have an MBA and a PhD right now. But
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it played a big role in my decision making and life as a whole. Like school is so important.
So important.
Very
Um,
important.
they say education is the tool or key to open doors of success, and yeah.
Yes.
So speaking of education, sometimes you're sitting here as in this South Africa. You have your honors degree. You're the director of the pageant. Why did you feel the need to enter the pageant in Mrs. South Africa? What are you trying to achieve through the pageant?
So through the pageant, I'm constantly on a pursuit of growth. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like as a person, you never stop learning as long as you open yourself up to it. And this is just another phase in my life where I'm challenging myself to get greater. Because there's a lot of people that are greater. With school, without school, in business, you know, there's so many people. And the more you expose yourself to things that you had not known about, the more chances of you getting an opportunity are coming because you're learning, you're meeting new people from different aspects of life, from different backgrounds, and there's so much to learn and you find so much inspiration. You know, sometimes, you know, when you think 1,000 Rand is a lot of money and someone tells you I make 1,000 Rand in 15 minutes, it changes your mindset instantly. And that's the good thing about networking. So, me entering the pageant has given me an amazing network, amazing network of powerful women all across South Africa. You never just get that from anywhere. You
Yeah,
never get it from anywhere. So I really entered to make great use of the opportunity of networking to grow my business, of course, to also grow a sisterhood. You know, sometimes it's good to change circles. It's healthy.
it's healthy.
It's
Yeah,
so
it is.
healthy
It is.
because
It is.
you know sometimes it really takes change for growth to happen, and sometimes you can't be an eagle when you're sitting around chickens. And it's the honest truth. It doesn't mean that chickens don't deserve great things, but if chickens are chickens, let them do what they need to do. But when it's time to soar with the eagles, you need to be in a position to do it. And sometimes in life, you really need to let go of things that have nothing to do with the vision that you have. And
Exactly.
for you to be able to do that, you need to be able to leave your comfort zone and soar with the soars.
Yeah.
And yeah, the platform for Mrs. SA is really also just like what I did with Miss Tembisa. It's not just for the crown,
Yeah.
it's for self development. it's for growth,
Self-empowerment.
it's for
Yeah.
empowerment, it's for a new level of me.
Mm.
It's for a new level of elevation.
Mm.
Because I mean, I've been on the journey for about 3 months now.
3 months now. Yeah.
I'll tell you now, I'm not the same person. I'll tell
That
you
has
now, for
changed
sure,
already.
I am not
Yeah.
the same person that entered because of the impact
Mm.
that I get from there.
Mm.
So yeah, I really find I am a big advocate for
Yeah.
beauty pageants.
For
That's why I
beauty
call myself pageant mom rightly, because it's something that really sits so well in my heart that I know that if there's anything that can make you grow quicker than a certificate, it's a pageant.
That's a pageant.
And
Yeah.
a pageant that doesn't just happen over one day. The long program pageants where you enter in Jan, the final is in November, and in between the pageant, the refinement process in
Yes.
that, I'm telling you, every woman will walk away empowered, one way or the other.
Yeah. Before I've worked with Mrs. Africa, and
Mhm.
she actually went on to win the pageant.
Yes.
And it was so much work that they have to do in between in Joba
It's a
Ocean.
lot.
So
Yeah.
when it comes to Mrs. SC, what are some of the work that you have been already been exposed to, or some of the programs that you have been already
Okay, so
exposed to?
we've done, we have amazing sponsors, first of all,
Mhm.
and the sponsors are there to empower all of us as
Yeah.
women. I'm not big on social media. I'm sure you know that, but we are partnered with an amazing agency
Mhm.
that now allows me to be in a space where I don't just grow an Instagram account, but I grow myself as a brand,
As a brand,
which is
yeah.
very important.
Important, yeah.
Because usually you take your business and you take yourself,
Mm.
and you think that my business is my brand. It's not.
Mm.
You know,
You are the brand.
I am the brand. You know, the business has an identity of its
Mm.
own, but you can easily associate it with me. So I'm learning to build myself as a brand, and I'm taking, like, we have the most amazing workshops, and those workshops are so empowering because they call people who are gurus in their industries, like
Yeah.
in PR, in marketing.
Marketing.
You learn more than you would from
Mm.
a typical certificate from a college. I'm gonna lie to you, because now you're talking with people who have walked the path,
Mm.
people who are
They have
experts, people who are award winning,
Mm.
proper, are there to sit you down and tell you how to best do it.
the experts in
The
the field.
experts in the field, you know, and there's no greater way of learning.
Of learning.
There's no greater way of learning. And yeah, with that as well, another initiative that I've started recently is to collect nappies
Nappies, yeah.
for homes where they keep little babies. You know, I really think it really gets so hard. And sometimes you find that young mothers, teenage mothers, or mothers who just cannot afford to buy a nappy,
To buy
you know,
nappies, yeah.
to just bring back that dignity of, you know, you don't always need a nappy cloth, but here is something that we can do to just make it a difference.
The difference, yeah.
Yeah, you don't always get that, and some people are also single parents who are raising kids alone and don't have the financial support.
Sometimes the situation gets more tough and
Yeah.
harder for them. Yeah.
Exactly. So my job also is not just to network and grow myself, but to also make a difference in the
Empower,
community
yeah.
and empower other women. And yeah, that's my reason.
That's a beautiful journey, man. That's so beautiful. You know, like I wish we can have like 2 hours or 3 hours just sitting here and just drinking
Unpacking
unpacking it.
all of it.
Yeah.
So throughout the conversation, I hear most there's a lot of sisterhood, and I think it's
Empowering.
more in a form of a personal level.
Yes.
So my question is, what's the drive between wanting to connect
With the others.
with the others,
Yes.
especially when it comes to women, because
Mm.
now we live in a situation whereby I think men take most advantage of women, and I think women also they want to find themselves, but it's a bit difficult, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of slandering between women to women. So like, what's the motivation? What makes you wanna like connect, even though there's
One
Yeah.
kind of
crowd.
disconnection?
So with regards to what you're saying, you're very right. It happens a lot, but that's also because women tend to put themselves last. I'll give you a typical example. In a home where a mom is cooking, you know she's usually the last to eat. The last to also dish up.
Yeah.
Because you want everyone else. You want
To
to
eat
serve
first.
everyone else. and you will take what is remaining.
Mm.
And these are the kind of platforms that also remind you that before you're a mom, before you're a wife, before you're a daughter, before you're a girlfriend, you are yourself.
Mm.
And first, your cup needs to be filled before you pour into the cup of someone else.
Mm.
Because when you're doing things that you like and things that drive you, you are happier.
Mm.
You are a happier wife, you are a happier girlfriend, you are a happier child because you are tapping into what fuels you.
Mm.
You find so many women depressed, and you check the root of depression is you are not at liberty to do what you like because you've got so many responsibilities while everyone else is living their best lives. Your job is to make sure that everyone else is fine. So it's beautiful to come across women who have the same vision.
Vision,
And today, when you're mentioning this, we had a breakfast with the women, and we were talking about how it's not easy for women to take compliments. When someone says, "Oh, that hat is so beautiful," you're like, "Oh, this old rack," because you can't just say, "Oh, thank you, I love it too," because you used to just be in hiding and let others shine because it's supposed to be a norm, but it's not supposed to be like that. Because the women who walk with the confidence, you see it in also what they do. They do what they do for work, for fun times, for family, so boldly because they're not afraid. They know who they are, they know what they stand for, and they know that they're not doing things because they're fearful, they're doing things because they are driven. Their
don't have it.
cups are
Yeah.
full.
Yeah.
And as a result, it's so fulfilling. And yeah, there's nothing like meeting a room full of women who already thinks like that. It's like you're in a church service. It's like the Holy Spirit just came down. I'm telling you, because you don't always find it.
Mm.
You always find women trying to drag each other, women trying to fight each other
Compete.
for nothing. No one is even getting a crown from that. But when you see them trying to pour into each other's cups, there's so much that happens that is amazing when women come together. But you need to give it a chance
The chance.
to happen. So it needs a certain mindset. And if your mind is set right, I feel like anything that you go for, you'll always get a benefit and something that will work for you. But if you go in with the wrong mindset, it's definitely not.
I think what's so much amazing about this pageant is that it brought women together to also remind them of isn't the normal society kind of like forgets or shifts away from it.
Yes, very true. Very, very true. And with Mrs. SA specifically, it's a pageant for moms, for women who are married. Some are not even moms.
Yeah.
But because when you take the role of being a wife,
Mm.
you tend to put yourself last.
Yeah.
You really do tend, because you just like, oh, my husband should be happy, oh, my kids should be happy, until no one even asks you, are you happy?
Yeah, you happy.
And sometimes it really just takes one person to awaken that in you. That, oh, okay, you've had dreams of doing this and this and this. It's been 12 years.
Yeah.
Your child is in grade 6. You've been saying you're on maternity leave. When are you going to do it? Because these are the things that fuel us.
This
These are the
was
things
yeah.
that keep us going and happy and healthier as well.
I'm glad for the what we've diverted into that section where we speak about family. Yeah, as a wife and as a mom herself, how's how's your family supporting you throughout this journey?
My family is
Yeah.
actually the biggest support structure. My family and my close friends and my business partners are the greatest because the good thing about having that kind of support is that sometimes I can't play mom. My dad needs to, my husband, needs to play mom and dad sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Take my kids to parties when I'm not there and still be able to enjoy. Or I need to play a role of a daughter to my parents and see how I can help. But if I'm not there, there's always gonna be someone to do it,
To do it, yeah.
And I really appreciate the support that I get because without them, I don't know who else was gonna do it. But this also comes back to show me that when you don't go for the things that you like, you will never get an opportunity. There's no perfect time. But if there's someone who maybe if every evening 6 o'clock you're cooking, if you're not there at 6 o'clock, it doesn't mean that people won't eat. Trust me, they will make a plan. There will be dinner served and they will
Yeah.
eat. You just need to position yourself in a way that you see how you find that support. Because it's very important to have that. Structure for me is everything.
It's everything.
But if you know you've got people that you can rely on with anything, literally with your life too, makes life easier.
Manage like this.
It
Yeah.
really does.
Well, we're still on the talk with Obee, your guys' favorite podcast, and second this is Ratile. So one of the few things that you're very passionate about is wellness and fitness. Sabo Panji these days.
All the time, keeping it
Yeah.
snatched.
So, what kind of drove you into that space of you could have done anything? You could have been went into cosmetics or makeup or maybe even designing, but you shifted into fitness. Yeah.
So with fitness is it started all in lockdown
Mm.
where we were just home
Sort of
and
COVID.
doing nothing. Yes. Excuse me.
No
So
problem.
I went to gym.
Mhm.
I remember going to gym. I was so excited because it was after they had just lifted the whole
Lockdown.
lockdown
Yeah.
thing, and I was like, I'm going everywhere. Went to gym. I met this lady. She was so nice. Met this lady, and she was like, "Why are you doing lifting so heavy?" I said to her, "I want to put on some weight." She's like, "You really do?" And I'm like, "Yes." And we started to now have a friendship,
Friendship.
right? It's more of a business partner than a friendship, but we started to have that friendship. Soon after that, she was like, "You know, I've always wanted to get into business." And I said to her, "You know what? We're always at gym. We can't be spending 5 days at gym without making some kind of money."
The money.
You know? So we were like, "What can we do at
Mm.
gym?" And when she was like, "No," and we were both wearing waist trainers, and we kept on trying them, and we were like, "No, we need to find a good supplier for waist trainers and start to sell them." And that's how Gone Wasteless was born. And that's when I even felt the need to go to gym even more because now it's
Even
not
more.
just for working out and being
Mhm.
healthy, it's for running a business. You know?
People have to see the
And it
product.
makes
People.
sense.
Yeah.
It really made sense. But yeah, other than that, I actually find a lot of relief in gym. I feel like it's amazing therapy.
Yeah.
You know, you take out a
It
lot
is.
of steam just for that 1 hour. You
Mm.
stop to think about everything
Yes.
and you just focus on counting and breathing. It's the best thing you can ever do to thank your body after working
Mhm.
hard, you know?
Mhm.
And yeah, I am very, very passionate about fitness and it's done a big thing for me in my life and it's one thing that I'll never stop. And I hope I never age because I work hard.
Unfortunately, say, okay, we'll age, but it depends on how do you age.
Gracefully.
Yeah,
Gracefully
gracefully
as well.
here.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
To ask Mina for women out there, I think there's a woman before pregnancy and there's a woman after pregnancy,
Mhm.
which is I find it strange because most of the time, most of women after giving birth, it's like they kind of like have that low self-esteem.
Mhm.
They kind of like think I'm this big fat
Yes. Yes.
lady
Yeah.
who's not
Mm.
even attractive anymore.
Mm.
Some even have regrets of why
They had a
Yeah,
they
the
child.
had
child
a,
here.
they had a child in the first place.
Yeah.
So, what kind of advice would you give to women out there who really want to like change the situation, who don't know where to start? Because I think women face a lot of things and they
And they're always
bottle
busy. Their
themselves,
mom is better.
bottle all these problems into themselves
Yeah.
because maybe it might be the society or it might be the situation they're facing.
Yeah.
So, what kind of advice would you give them, or where to start, or what to do
Yes.
Yeah.
in
With
order
such
to
Or maybe,
gain that
yeah.
confidence back?
Yeah.
Or maybe just to add to his question, just before you answer it, you're also empowering young women. So, just to laba uthola ukuthi thina babe pregnant basesebancane, how can you share a word of motivation to say, okay, you had a kid usemncane, but the journey still continues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that question actually because it really happens more often than we ever think. You know what? Pregnancy is a big stage in a woman's life. And sometimes you find that after falling pregnant, you need to literally change your entire wardrobe because nothing is the same ever again. This takes a knock on some women. And another thing that we need to be aware of is depression. There's something called postnatal depression.
Postnatal
It
depression.
usually happens after women give birth or during pregnancy. So with this kind of thing, you need to be aware. And if you're aware of it, and you can get either a therapist, psychologist, or even a psychiatrist, because some need to get on medication to get to themselves again. It helps a lot. And sometimes you even forget that things need to be what they used to be, because now you're a mom and you're just like, even if I wanted I had all these plans, I can't do them anymore because the child is here. The child is gonna live. The child is gonna survive through you getting your goals. And the child is gonna be happier when you are a happy mom.
When they're happy.
Because now you're gonna be an angry mom who is raising a child, and this child, the first connection of a child is their mother and their mother's energy.
Yeah.
And if you're constantly angry, this is how you are raising them. This is the environment you are getting them accustomed to. Sometimes with things that happen, you think people are angry because abantu abanenkani. Abantu, they were not born like that. It's what you get accustomed to. When they say charity begins at home, they don't play. And it doesn't mean ukuthi it's a thing yokuthi mawudelela le ngaphandle, charity begins at home. No. Even how you deal with your emotions, even how you interact with other people. If you were raised in anger, if you were always getting beaten, if you were always looking to abuse and all these things, it becomes a norm to you.
Yeah.
And as soon as it becomes a norm to you, that's the kind of person you're gonna become to the next person. Whether it's your girlfriend, whether it's your wife, whether it's that's the kind of person you become, and it's not a big deal. That's what you know. So with stuff like those, we really, really need to watch out as women as well, because we don't want to raise angry kids. It's so sad when you have to see kids having to recover from what their parents put them through. If there's anything they should recover from, is what they put themselves through. After you said, dare you try that? Not Uguti, you were raised in such a way that when you grow up, it is too much for you. Now you need to take all that hurt out and try to build yourself. It's easier when you do it when you're younger. NgesiZulu bathi, ligotshwa lisencane. When you raise a child well, when you deal with your issues to be a better parent to this child, I'm telling you, the fruits that you're going to get from this child are going to be amazing. And I think we should never be afraid of psychologists. We should never be afraid. These are also free services that are available from clinics, social workers. These are the little things that they can put you through that can change your entire life, your entire structure at home. And I think women should make use of it. If you feel like after giving birth you're not yourself again, seek advice.
Seek help.
Seek advice. Seek
assistance.
the
Yeah.
help. Go to a local clinic and tell them how you feel, and you should be able to get help without even paying a cent.
Definitely. Wow. So, as we are about to come to the end of the show, I've got 2 or 3 more questions just for you.
Okay.
Since as a semi-finalist for Mrs. SA, you then obviously proceeded to being a finalist. What makes you so special or unique in a way which you deserve to be in the spot of being a finalist and eventually obviously going to the finals?
I deserve to be there because first of all, I entered with my heart knowing why I'm there, and the reason why I'm there is to elevate what I'm already doing. It's not to start what has never existed. It's to do better. I'm already doing my charity work. I'm already giving back through Miss Tembisa, but I want to do it on a bigger and larger platform. It's to grow. I'm already in business and I need to grow it. I also want to explore things that I've never tried before to show that, sometimes you think you've got limits, but if you put yourself around a certain environment, like I was talking earlier, you can do greater things that
exponential
things that you never
exponential
thought you
growth.
would do. So I'm also, challenging myself to get out with the skill that I came in without. And yeah, and I think that's amazing enough to allow me an opportunity to use the crown, because I'll definitely make a difference. Being passionate about it, also being passionate about business, also puts me in a position where I want to empower young girls to get into business, especially because like unemployment in South Africa is so low. And I think we really need to put ourselves in a position of, so what do I do if I'm not employed? And if it means that you've got a strategy that can get you into it, really doesn't take a lot. It's just that the information is probably not being shared enough about it. And if I could win the title, I'd use that to my advantage
To advantage.
and have stuff like not just campaigns but master classes on how to teach young women how to go into business.
I think that's so much quite interesting to actually empower young women which are getting into business and understand how entrepreneurship works. Because even when you check the states of EGPV, quite often young women bakomplaining ukuthi anginamsebenzi that's why ngaphumi on this relationship, or maybe the perpetrator or the abuser is the provider,
Very true.
hence nami ngibambelelile uma ngaphuma lana mntana mengizomisayo. So I
And
think
that alone
yeah,
can be so life changing
life changing.
because you're
Yeah.
just empowering a woman so that she can be able to just stand up for
Yeah.
herself or see her worth enough to say, what do you give me? 50 rand a month? It's fine. I'll make it too. And
Exactly.
choose what is really for you,
Mm.
you know. But yeah, I must say, as much as there's bad men, there's also good
Also
men.
good men.
But
Yeah.
women still need to be in a position of choosing
Mm.
the good men.
Well, thank you so much for coming to the show, and hopefully people can, follow you and get more inspired and more encouraged about your journey. Miss Tembisa pageant has already been doing so much around the Tembisa, has empowered countless young women, and obviously you're behind the driver's seat. And hopefully, with it through Mrs. SA, will not only empower young women but also empower other women within our Baba, better businesswomen or into special fields as well. And before Sival, I would also like to give you the opportunity to, with you, where can we follow you in terms of social media, and where can we find Mrs. SA, which platforms? Yes,
So on Instagram, I am pageant mom
patient.
Rati.
Yes.
So pageant underscore mom underscore Rati.
Mm,
And on Facebook, I am Ratile Mabitsela,
mm,
Mrs. SA Supervised 2023.
mm.
On where else? So how to vote for me?
Yes, how to.
You can simply just go on my Instagram and like the very first picture and make sure that you're following Mrs. South Africa. You can do the same for Facebook. You go on my
Mm.
account and you see the link that has my picture on, and you like it, and you like the Mrs. South Africa page. Or you can also SMS Ratile Mabitsela to 47587. Yes. So you SMS Ratile Mabitsela to 47587 to make me get a chance and a spot in the top finalist and stand a chance to win the crown.
Mhm. So from Manje, from the number of finalists, how many? So from the number of semi-finalists, how many finalists will be chosen to?
25.
Yeah, 25. Wow.
25. So I really, really need your votes to
Wow.
understand.
Wow.
So
And the,
I really need you to keep the votes coming to just keep me in the
and the
25.
25.
Yeah.
And this is women coming from all provinces
Yes.
across the country.
All
Wow,
provinces.
this is so beautiful. This is like an amazing pageant. Thank you so much, Babugile Makaya. You heard, you have to SMS, go into social media, like the photo, and just follow her journey. Even afterwards, just follow her journey. From me, Obee Mkabela, I'd love to take this moment to say thank you for for coming to the show, and thank you, Bugel, for tuning in. You know how we do it. We ask you to subscribe and follow us. Hit those like button, those notification button. We want to put out with any episodes as well as a scenario in the coming future. Every Friday we post. Every Friday we publish. So you know what to do. Sabo.